There is one consciousness in existence, just one, and it is having every single experience in every body, on every planet, in every dimension, simultaneously. But here is what most people don't know. That one consciousness has a map, a framework so precise, so ancient, so staggeringly complete that it has been independently confirmed across traditions separated by thousands of years and thousands of miles. It's called the 7 densities, and it describes exactly how that one consciousness, the source of everything, breaks itself apart, forgets itself completely, and then slowly, painstakingly, across billions of years, remembers its way back home. I'm Jules. I explore the architecture of consciousness, the nature of reality, and what every ancient tradition has been quietly agreeing on since the beginning of recorded history. And today, we are walking through the first 4 levels of this map together. By the time we're done, the way you see a rock, a tree, an animal, and the person sitting next to you will be vastly different. This framework comes from the Law of One, a body of work channeled in the early 1980s by a collective consciousness called Ra. Ra describes itself not as a god, but as a fellow traveler, a consciousness that has already walked this entire path and returned to share the map. Ra calls the levels densities, not dimensions, not chakras, densities, because each one is a denser, richer, more complex experience of the one consciousness that underlies all of it. Let's begin at the very beginning. The first density is the density of awareness. Before life, before thought, before feeling. There is simply the most basic recognition in existence. I am here. This is the consciousness of earth, water, fire, and air, the 4 elements. And before you dismiss that as poetic metaphor, Ra is being completely literal. Rocks are not unconscious. Water is not dead. They are the one consciousness in its earliest, most elemental expression, just beginning to know itself, just beginning to say yes to existence. Think about that for a second. The same consciousness that right now is reading these words, feeling feelings, asking questions about the nature of reality, was once a rock, sitting in silence for millions of years, just learning to be aware that it existed. Every stone you have ever held was the first word the universe ever spoke. The second density is the density of growth. Here, the one consciousness becomes life. It learns to move, to reach, to hunger, to belong. Plants turning toward light, animals moving through instinct and territory and pack. The entire biosphere, every ecosystem, every food chain, every migration pattern, is the one consciousness learning a new lesson. I want. I grow. I move toward what sustains me. Second density has one singular drive, toward the light, always toward the light. And that impulse, Ra says, never fully leaves us. It just gets more complicated. But here is the detail that completely undoes me every time. Ra says that second density beings, animals specifically, can be called forward into third density by their relationship with humans. That bond between a person and their animal, that look your dog gives you that feels like it goes all the way down, is not just emotional, it is evolutionary. The love between you is literally accelerating that consciousness forward on the map. Every animal you have ever loved, you helped evolve. You were part of their journey, and they were part of yours. Because it was always just the one consciousness meeting itself in different forms at different levels of the map and recognizing something familiar. The third density is the density of self-awareness. This is us, right here, right now. And Ra is very specific about what makes third density unlike anything that came before it. For the first time in the entire journey of consciousness, the veil drops. In every other density, beings have direct awareness of their own nature. They know they are the one consciousness. They know they are connected to everything. But here, in us, that knowledge is deliberately hidden. The veil of forgetting is placed between the conscious mind and the truth of what we are. And the reason is devastating in its elegance. This is the density of choice. The most important choice the one consciousness will ever make while wearing a human body. And that choice cannot be made authentically if the answer is already known. The choice is this: do you orient your life toward service to others or service to self? Not perfectly, not completely, but as a fundamental direction, a gravitational pull. Which way does your life lean when no one is watching? Ra says we have approximately 75,000 years in third density as a collective to make this choice. And here is what makes that significant right now. We are at the end of that cycle. The one consciousness, wearing 8 billion human masks, is approaching what Ra calls the harvest, a graduation, a shift, which means spiritual awakening, the thing so many people are experiencing right now, the inexplicable pull toward truth, toward depth, toward meaning, is not random. It is not a trend. It is the one consciousness beginning to remember itself, right on schedule, at the exact moment the map said it would. You didn't find your way to this kind of content by accident. You are the universe waking up inside its own dream, right on time. We have covered the first 3 densities: awareness, growth, and self-awareness, and we are only halfway through the map. In part 2, we go into the 4th density of love, the 5th density of wisdom, and the 6th density of unity, where Ra itself exists. And the 7th, the gateway back to the one infinite creator, where the one consciousness finally, fully remembers everything it forgot. And I will tell you right now, part 2 is where it starts to get really interesting. I'm Jules. I'm the inner Jules. And thank you so much for being here and watching all the way through. It means everything. Please subscribe so you don't miss part 2. And if this resonated with you at all, share it with someone who needs to hear it. I love you so much, my dear friend. I'll see you in part 2.